What is up? Alfred here from the King One Oracle again. In the last video, you learned about what is the trigram and you also learned about how is the hexagram being evaluated. In the Book of Change, these 8 groups of trigram have covered every single element in this universe, or at least in this world that we're living right now. Now the question is, how are the 8 groups of trigram related or linked to the universe? In the Book of Change, in the divination school, heaven hexagram often related or linked to a father in a family or head in the body part. How do we link the world with the trigrams? Keep watching till the end and you will get the answer. I have prepared a simple cheat sheet about what are they being related. Just download it from the link provided at the description area. Also, by getting yourself familiar with these trigrams, it will also benefit you if you wanted to learn Feng Shui in the future. Trigram means universe, and Feng Shui or divination or face reading, all of these are interrelated. Let's say when we see this hexagram, we know it's a heaven hexagram. We know this symbol. We know the heaven hexagram consists of 6 yang lines. So when we look at all these I Ching symbols, we need to link the symbol to something related. If we can't think of something related that represented by this symbol, then the I Ching symbol is a useless symbol. Without having the link, humans are not able to interpret and predict the future in a logic sequences. For instance, when we look at the heaven hexagram, and while we do the casting, we know that our question is related to a family member. Then from this hexagram and the question, together with the basic logic of the hexagram, we know that the prediction is something to do with the father. In this case, you can't really tell that there is something to do with the sister, as the hexagram was not indicate any symbol of sister. Every of the symbol has relevant information to match up to the world, and the principal design of hexagram also comes with a very strong logic base. You can't define the hexagram by yourself. Like when you see the heaven hexagram, you endow it with the meaning of mother. It just doesn't make sense and you will lose at the end. This part of knowledge is very important, especially if you want to learn Plum Blossom Oracle in the future. I will make a series of this lesson in the future where this is the fun part of a prediction. The fun part here is you can make prediction wherever, whenever you are. You can grab anything you see right now or hear anything right now and make the prediction. There is no need for any tools like yellow stock or coins or playing cards. If you see a car with a red and hear a thunderstorm, you could straight away transform the red car and the thunderstorm into the hexagram and make the prediction. And the result will still blowing out your mind. So make sure you subscribe to my channel and get this free learning course in the future. Let's get back to the basic of I Ching divination. When we need to link the word to the hexagram, in the Book of Change, it has a jargon called image. Image is pretty self-explanatory. Image is imagine. It means what you're seeing with or without imagination, whether it's implied or a firm state. It is the likeness of anything. How we could use astrology for predicting to the future. The reason is the astrology framework has been built in the fractal theory of mathematics, while some people call it the geometry of nature. Fractals have their self-similarity, which can categorize as the exact, the semi-self, and the statistical self-similarity. You are not required to memorize all of these or even really understand what it is. This is just some bonus topic which if you can't master this fractal, you will still able to predict 100% accurately. So what is self-similar? I've just mentioned. For example, when you see a leaf, the variation of the leaf is very similar to the branches of the tree. It also looks similar to the blood vessel distribution in a human body. It also looks similar to the river diversion. Because of the similarity, it forms a link or a bridge between it. Therefore, to put it simple, because of the similarity, when you see A, you can think of B. When you see B, you can think of C. The association thinking is the source of any kind of prediction. The word fractals was coined in 1975 by a mathematician who was born in Poland. But the idea of fractals is actually dated back to the 17th century. But anyway, no matter how long this concept of fractals being traced, is still a very big gap of timestamp to the starting time of I Ching. This again proves that I Ching is an ancient knowledge that beyond the current scientific knowledge. If you can unlock the secret of I Ching, I guarantee you can go far further than what you may be thought of. Let me illustrate to you with a better understanding of how the image link to the hexagram. This is a primordial trigram arrangement. This arrangement is designed based on the river scheme. He-Tu. Again, I can't put it all into this video series. This is just some basic idea for you so that you get a quick picture where are all these things come from. Therefore, I Ching is properly designed symbol and not coming out from nowhere. It has a logic design framework behind. Imagine that the creator of the trigram, Fuzi, is standing in the middle of this trigram. He look up to the sky, which is the heaven, and stare down to the ground, which is the earth. Looking to the left is the sun, which is the fire, and look to the right, he see the river star, which is the water. Then he see a mountain from here and the lake from here. He hears thunderstorm from here and feels the wind from here. Therefore, he creates this chart. This explanation seems a little bit uneasy, but it doesn't matter for now as this has nothing to do with King Wen Oracle. This part is just a bonus input for you in case you're going to proceed to the I Ching in a further level. What we need to know here is Qian and Kun represent the heaven and earth respectively, while Li and Kan represent to the fire and the water. This is the 4 basic images. From these 4 basic images, it extends into another extra 4 images are referring to Gen and Tui, representing the mountain and the lake, and the Zhen and Xun, representing the thunder and the wind. Now, this is the image of lightniness in the nature. As I said earlier, trigram has covered everything in the universe. So now let's say I don't want to make this image link to the nature. What about the family member? Qian is represent the father and Kun is the mother, and this is the elder son, this is the middle son, younger son, eldest daughter, middle daughter, and the youngest daughter. It has a trick to learn the symbol related to the member. You don't really need to memorize all of them. Let me show you how here. When you see all of the line with yang, it means very young, very powerful. So a father will be in this position. Then all the line with yin, it means very yin, very lovely, very soft. A mother will fit to this position. Therefore, the heaven and earth are always in the pair that give birth to another trigrams. Now, after we learn the easiest of the trigram, we now need to differentiate which is the son and which is the daughter. Whenever we see a single yang line in trigram, these are all yang trigram. Yang means man, so all of the sun will fall into this trigram, while the rest you can see that is also sharing the same commonality, which is only the single yin line in the trigram. This is the yin trigram, and yin represent all the women. Now we know that what is the group of the son and daughter. The next step is to learn how to differentiate the elder son and the youngest. This is very easy. As I always say, in I Ching lines, always started from the bottom. Now you see the bottom is the only single yang line, the elder son get born first. So this trigram named Zhen or thunder represent the elder son. When you see the middle line is the only yang line, you now know that it's the trigram called Kan or water, which represent the middle son. And lastly, the only single line is on the top. This is the younger son. It represents the same when we look at the daughter trigram. It's just that easy. Everything builds with a logic. Let me show you one more last example to link the image of trigrams to the body part. Qian represent head, as head is like a body part that on top of our body, while your tummy would be able to absorb all kind of things, just like the earth that able to carry anything on it. This making the Kun represent to the tummy. Now, let's look at the rest. Always remember that yang means energetic and yin means static. I've talked about this in this video. Therefore, when you look at the Zhen trigram, you see the yang line is at the bottom. This can represent your leg, which legs is a movement part for the whole body and applying to the same concept. Hand is a movement on top. Therefore, Gen trigram, the mountain represents the hand in the body part. Let's look at the Xun trigram, the wind. We can see that the wind trigram has a broken line at the bottom. Guess where this reflect at our body part? This is the butt. Xun represents the butt. Li, the fire, has a break line at the center. Does it look like an eye? And Li, the fire, also means brightness and civilization. Therefore, Li is the fire trigram represent our eye. For the Tui trigram, it reflects on the mouth, and the Kan trigram represent the ear. It has too many to elaborate that I can't really finish it even in a year non-stop talking over here. The trigram is a reflection of the universe. It also reflects on the animals, like Qian represent the horse. I'll elaborate more when we jump into Plum Blossom Oracle. With the example I've shown, you may start to understand how is the I Ching can be used for prediction. But remember, in King Wen Oracle, image is very rarely to get applied. It only heavily applies to Plum Blossom Oracle. I know you may seem not 100% understand how does it work actually, but after watching this video, you shall be at least be able to recognize that there is a logical mechanism involved in this I Ching. It is definitely not a figment from imagination. The image of the trigram is just an elementary level for Chinese metaphysics, but not to worry if you still can't master all the image. As I said, you will slowly get into it while you keep watching my video. And the most important part is, it won't affect your prediction accuracy. I'll start to talk more about the 5 elements, the earthly branches, 6 kin, 6 guardian that King Wen Oracle needed. This is all the very basic part that will bring you into Feng Shui, Chinese birth reading, face reading, palm reading, and divination in the future. In the next video, I will talk more about 64 hexagram, which is the enhanced version of the basic 8 trigram. So subscribe to my channel and don't forget to give me a thumbs up, comment down below if you found something not understand. I'll see you in the next video.